If you look at all of our ordinances that we've passed that in Cecil Township and Robinson and most of them, we allowed for drilling in the community. And we worked actually with one of the companies specifically in Cecil Township for almost a year developing that ordinance. So it was like they didn't have input into it, okay? They knew it was coming along all the way. We've worked with them. And when they say that it's going to adversely affect them, if you look at all the jobs that's been created and all the people that have leased and gotten royalties, all the money they've made it under all of our local ordinances already. It's a good point that it has been working the way it was. There was no reason to take away the rights off of us. There's not a problem with when you want to come to a municipality and put a well in or a compressor station, that you should come to the township supervisors and we should see what we can work out with it.
Well, we're getting to our close. In the next 5 minutes, kind of just sum up where we're at. You're going to be in court on June the 6th, right, 2012, on the summary judgment motion. And then if that's not granted, you'll have a full hearing in front of the full Commonwealth Court. What's your thoughts here? Final thoughts on the way out before we conclude?
Well, I think that no matter what happens in court, we're still going to lobby our representatives and senators, and we're pursuing it on all fronts. I think it would be better for Pennsylvanians if the court made a quick decision and struck down those parts of Act 13 that we feel are unconstitutional. But if we have to do it through the political system, that's what we're going to do. We're already seeing some movement by Republicans that voted for Act 13, maybe having a change of heart. We've also got some local Republicans that bucked their own party and voted against it, and that's due to our education of what was actually in the bill. So we're pretty confident that Act 13 at one point or another is going away. We hope it's sooner rather than later, but we'll do it any way that we have to, because it really takes our system of government and turns it upside down. And if Act 13 were to stand, there's going to be a lot of communities that are devastated.
And we get back to that point also. Governor Corbett also said, I think the other day, that he wasn't even aware that the confidentiality for physicians' information about their patients was even in there.
Well, there's a report on state impact, and
that's a website, State Impact?
Yes.
Okay.
And they quoted the governor saying that he doesn't know how the confidentiality clause got into the act.
Interesting.
Well, somebody obviously put it into the act, but the governor actually is the only one that could not make time to see us. Yeah. We talked to just about everybody else. And there's a lot of things in that act, and I've read it probably 10 different times, that you find each time you read it.
Well, Supervisor Shaden?
I would like to make a quick comment here. There was a press release that came out on Friday, April 4th of 2008, and it was a consumer advisory. It urges consumers to carefully review offers to buy or lease gas and oil rights on their properties. And I'm just going to read one quick paragraph here inside that really, it drives everything home. It says, selling or leasing your rights to your land should never be taken lightly, because it means giving up certain privileges and ownership rights for parts of your property. These leases can affect the value of your property, your ability to sell your home or your land, and give others broad access to your property for an extended period of time. Now, what's really ironic about this is the fact that this press release came from Attorney General Tom Corbett in 2008. He's saying, beware of selling your gas rights and what you can lose from doing that. Now, all of a sudden, here we are in 2012, short 4 years later, and he's saying, go ahead, drill anywhere you want.
Drill, baby, drill.
It's amazing.
Thank you, Andy. Supervisor Gabriel.
Yeah, I think, Doug, that as Mr. Capula and Mr. Schrader alluded to, that the future of our communities are at issue here. You have a situation, at least in a lot of municipalities, where people have made an investment in their homes. They've spent, quite an amount of money investing in their homes. Their home values are at issue, but also they're more concerned probably about their children and having cancer-causing chemicals from a frack pond within several hundred feet, less than a football field away, is a concern to them. Those are the issues that are at stake here, and they don't just affect our municipalities, but really every municipality across Pennsylvania.
Well, thank you all for being here today. Our time has come to a close, and I really appreciate you coming forward here to talk about this. You're on the vanguard of something very big, something to tell your grandchildren about. It will go in the history books no matter how it's decided. And I want to thank you all for being here and invite you to come back after the June 6th hearing. Maybe we can have some more to talk about. Gentlemen, thank you so much for being on Marcellus Matters.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. Well, that brings to conclusion our first program of Marcellus Matters. I do hope you enjoyed it and gained some perspective on this very important issue of Act 13 and the lawsuit that it has precipitated. As I said, it's a landmark case. And I want to thank our guests for being here as well. It was a most illuminating discussion, and thank you very much, gentlemen. I also want to thank all the people behind the scenes here and the camera who made this show possible, especially my co-producer, Bridget Shields. A lot of work went into this inaugural program, and we hope to ramp up our schedule with more programs as we progress in this new venture. I'd also like to thank the board and the staff of PCTV 21. Without you, we would not be here, so thank you very much. And finally, I want to recognize and thank our generous support Marcellus Matters has received from two of our underwriters. That would be Marcellus Protest at www.marcellusprotest.org and our good friends at the Thomas Merton Center at www.thomasmerton.org. And really appreciate them helping us get this program launched. In our next program, we'll be taking a look at the public health issues, certainly another part of one of the many dimensions of the Marcellus in Pennsylvania. So I want to thank you for watching. Look forward to seeing you again, and you'll be hearing a lot more from us on many, many topics at issue here in the Commonwealth. Thank you. This is Douglas Shields for Marcellus Matters.